Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. Hopefully you all can hear me. Cool, sounds good, camera's good. Alright, so thank you all for joining. Hope everyone's doing well. We can just jump right into the chart. Our targets finally got hit. And yeah, just a reminder, I'm not streaming tomorrow, most likely not. But I will resume Thursday. The chances that I stream tomorrow are pretty low, but yeah, so let's just jump right in. So what were we looking for yesterday? What we were looking for was for this fair value gap on this 4-hour chart right here. Let me just bring this over. 4-hour fair value gap to fill as along with just a retest of this value area high. Based off of this range, kind of a new range that we set. We've been watching streams for a while. I had the swing high up here and the swing low down here, but we've been contained within this swing low and this swing high for quite some time, and respecting the levels as well of the volume profile. So I decided to just switch how I look at it. So this is the new range now, and we're looking for rejection off of it, and this is exactly what we got. Coming down to the 1-hour time frame, I can see wicks above are fine on both the value area high and the fair value gaps. We just work on a closure basis. Wick above, close below. So that kind of gave you their intention. I'm most likely going to head lower. And what we also said yesterday was breaking below this line of 21,531, which to me signal a market structure change. And obviously we got that kind of a retest also back as resistance. So to me, we switched market structure on the 1-hour time frame to bearish market structure. So most likely continuation to downside. 4-hour, I wouldn't. You might also consider this to be a market structure line. So you also switched the 4-hour trend as well. So things aren't looking too good for Bitcoin. We'll look at downside targets. Now audio is fine. Thank you. We'll look at downside targets. Typically, when I see market structure breaks, I usually like to see one, a retest of this, which we kind of already got, of the market structure, market structure break line, and 2, a pullback into the bearish order block. And the bearish order block is defined as the last significant move up before the market structure break. However, this bearish order block is all the way up here. So let me just label that. All the way up here, right back at the value high. So the likelihood that we do actually pull back all the way up into this is obviously pretty significantly low. You would have to just flip this first as a support and resistance level, and then you can look at this for a target. But until we flip this line, this is most likely not going to happen. Looking at the 4-hour, yeah, it's pretty much this candle as well. So you wouldn't, I don't expect this to actually play out, but I will put it on the chart just in case we do flip this support and resistance level. Yeah. Cool. Downside targets for Bitcoin. I believe I said this yesterday's stream, would be last night's stream, like the paper trading, which we unfortunately did at the wrong time. Should have just waited for our targets to get hit right here. But we'll be filling this fair value gap down to 19,439. So let me just actually fill that on the charts. So that will be your first major target on the 1-hour time frame. Obviously small bounces along the way. But until then, this remains our target. And what invalidates this target first would be flipping this level right here, but it doesn't seem too significant. Let me just throw the on the TDI to see also for building any divergences or any time frames. And we don't appear to be. Yeah, low. You can kind of argue that this might be hidden. Nah, it's still lower. So no, there's no divergence forming. So there's no real confluence that we're gonna have any major upside move. Let's just see on the volume profile if anything lines up with this fair value gap as well. I think the point control might be around here. Yes, the point control is also around here, so it would be filling this fair value gap along with the retest of this point of control. And the point control right now sits at 19,806. So also expect a slight bounce off of there, possibly. Yeah, almost hit him bearish bullish awareness, but it didn't. It's not playing out too well. Hello, everyone. Let's now take a look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. See what has happened with that. Has Ethereum 2.0 been implemented yet? I know they said but I know this too shall pass said between 13th and the 15th. I was curious, did it actually all play out yet, or is it a multi-day thing? I'm not familiar. Anyway, coming back to the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart, what we're looking for was a retest of this value area high. We got it. We're now bouncing off of it, which is just fine. Obviously, a break of this level would then look for a retest of this previous low right here, which would then invalidate this daily uptrend. So that would be of significance for Ethereum itself. So you want, first of all, for this to hold, and then I want to see a retest of this high still. This is perfectly fine. This retest is perfectly fine. But breaking below this low of 72,673 roughly on a daily closure basis would invalidate this daily uptrend. But for now, playing out fairly well. So what we said yesterday, 4 hour doesn't look terrible as well. So yeah, let's just look at the Ethereum chart and see how Ethereum is holding. I'm still long on my alts. They haven't managed to come down to my entries from last week yet. I've been taking profit along low course, but they haven't hit my high side targets to enter short. Yeah, I still think we have. We're gonna take a look at charts, but I still think, excuse me, that most of our altcoin charts have also not been hit. Okay, so for Ethereum, this came up to this point resistance line that we've had marked out for quite some time. Also, this fair value gap yet to have failed to fill this fair value gap yet, which is perfectly fine. There's nothing of too much concern in the 4 hour time frame. So I think Ethereum, especially with its Ethereum versus Bitcoin valuation, definitely have some more upside potential, pulling our Fibonacci levels. I see that we did bounce off the 705, as well as filling this fair value gap down here. Now, if Bitcoin does decide to dump out a bit more, which I think is definitely possible, look out below for the 786 as well as this fair value gap at 1552. So I think this is probably right now the most likely play, coming down to this level, obviously closure basis, and then coming back to fill this fair value gap, if not retest this market structure break. What invalidates this idea would be obviously closing below this line, but then what would invalidate this little slight uptrend would be closures below this previous low, 1489. So just be wary that if the market does decide to majorly dump out, that most likely will happen. AVE and CRV later on. Cool. Let's do AVE. Okay. So for AVE, let's just look at the daily chart. Okay, so we've blasted through the point control, so where we look to next, especially when we don't have a clearly set trend. We did break market structure, so we still are expecting a pullback up into this order block. Eventually, that is really what I look for. I believe this should be labeled MSB. Let me just get that. So obviously, if you flip this line, then our targets still remain up here. Small term time frames, though, nothing of too much concern just yet. So I still think these targets above at 101 and 99.3 roughly still hold a lot of weight. Barely bounces off the 786, but that's fine. So unless we're building divergences, I think we're just going to continuously no divergences for me. So I think we are like, obviously short-term plays are going to be just filling this gap up to here. Let's just go even to small-term time frames. Are going to be filling this gap up here. We'll label it like this, which will test this daily view up. I want to expect this to fill completely. Before slightly direction, I'll look for it just to come up to the daily view up, wherever it is at that time, most likely within this fair value gap, and then get the rejection off of it, and then continue onwards and upwards. Yeah, it just seems like a bunch of range plays. I do think like a long at this point would probably not be a terrible idea, with targets up to this fair value gap. You're pretty much just stuck within this range and just extremely choppy, so not a terrible idea. CRV. Okay, daily chart. Okay, just get rid of these. This. CRV seems like the same thing's playing out. We're all looking for this daily, this order block up here, between 1.45 and 1.37 roughly, to get hit. Pulling it from an opportunity levels as well, from this swing high to this swing low. You also have the 705, which is really usually what you like to see a retracement to when you have market structure breaks. So the 1.4 level still remains our target for this to the upside. But until then, you really are just ranging in between this with a slight uptrend. So, I mean, you could pull you treat this as a really small range until the breakout. And you see just perfect retest of this value area low. Right here, you can see all these trapped longs at the top. It came back, squished them out. I don't think this is going to break, to be quite honest with you. You also filled this fair value gap down here, so I think this definitely has a lot more upside potential. Small term time frames, though, if you want like a quick little play, coming back to refill this right here would probably give you a good scalp short opportunity after this fair value gap is filled, up to about 1.105. Yeah. So, but longer term time frames, that actually looks like a perfect long. Back up to obviously the point control, take some profit, the point control value high, and then longer term targets still remain up here at 1.4. So hopefully that was of some help. Cool. All right. Any other coins you guys want me to look at? I can take a look at SPX for now. Oh, yeah, USD. Okay. So, right, SPX broke our daily uptrend. This is the market structure break. I don't know why I don't label these. Excuse me. We can go over the 4 hour just so it's a bit clearer. You'll still look for a pullback. It's a bit harder with these types of things. I think actually we have this labeled out clearer on ES1. E-minis. No, we didn't. But we didn't? Really? That's weird. Okay. Well, I guess I didn't. But coming back to refill this fair value gap, didn't get it completely. We can pull our Fibonacci levels after the market structure break. Bang. See, we also rejected off the 786. I definitely think there's the possibility that there's some more upside potential. I know today there was CPI data coming out. I could check the dollar. Yeah, I could check the XY. But I do think there's a potential coming up to fill this, like, little... Right, this little bearish order block. Don't put too much weight on that idea, but I do think that it definitely has some potential. 3903. 3903. Yeah, I definitely think you can come down and fill this fair value gap down here, which is near your target. So, like, this would be a good downside target before this move up. But also remember, guys, just in the back of our heads, that while we do still have upside targets, time for our macro targets, which is first week of November, like the bottom's in, is coming up pretty soon. So I think, you know, any upside targets should be with a grain of salt, because eventually that day will come within the next, time's running out, so the next month and a half of a major dump. So, and obviously I'm talking about bottom for Bitcoin. I don't think the bottom is going to be in for the treads for a while. But let's see if my internet wants to work and wants to load DXY. Okay, so DXY finally came up to my targets last week of this fair value gap, along with, I don't know why this is so extended out. As long as with the 786, we ejected off of this. Let me just pull this in a little bit. Oh, I can't. Never mind. Fill this 786. Ejected off of it. This 4-hour time frame still looking okay. I don't like this break, to be quite honest. Actually, didn't. Well, I don't like this break. I don't like any of this. So I do think you're probably going to get a rejection quite soon, to be honest. I think you're going to reject off of this bearish order block right here, which you're already bumping into. We can find targets with our Fibonacci levels above this fair value gap at 10.882. 4-hour closure above that would then provide targets above in that fair value gap. However, pulling our Fibonacci levels, I do think you're just going to come into the 705 within this bearish order block at 109.874. Obviously, closure basis on the 4-hour time frame, so wick above is perfectly fine. And then we get, you know, continuation to the downside. Macro-wise, I do think, maybe not macro-wise, but I think the top is very close to being in. On like the daily time frame, weekly time frame. I mean, maybe not weekly. If this will load, then maybe. I will share my thoughts. But weekly time frame, I think you're kind of due for definitely some sort of a major pullback. This is quite parabolic. So even if we do come back and fill up this gap up here, still looking like it's gonna dump fairly hard soon, in my opinion. And maybe that lines up with the first week in November. But small term time frame plays, obviously, I think you come up to 705, reject off of it, continue the downtrend. So yeah. Any other coins you guys want me to look at? Just a reminder that I put in the chat our link to our Discord server. The one in the description is the wrong. Again, I made that mistake. But in the chat, in the live chat, if you're watching this, just click the live chat. I did put it in there, and you can join our Discord server. Obviously, everything is completely free. A lot of good traders in there, so just come and join, learn, and hang out. I should have probably made that announcement in the beginning, but cool. Well, if there's no other coins you guys want me to look at, I think I'll leave it there. I went over all the major coins and gave some targets. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. If you trade on Bybit or want to trade on Bybit, links in the description below for 30% off all your fees, maker and taker. Help support the channel as well, and it can help you save some money over time. So I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys all Thursday. Bye. Thanks all for joining.